Yeah, actually,
Hey there, welcome to AWT again. Try. I have here with me,
hola.
and I have here with me also.
No, sir.
So today we will dive into the essential yet often overlooked topics of men's well-being and emotions in today's society.
Join us as we break down societal norms, explore challenges, and discuss strategy for emotional well-being of men.
Our objective is actually to foster open conversations and promote positive changes uh, in the affairs of how affairs of men are being perceived and addressed.
Join us as we journey through this fascinating world of storytelling. So today we'll be talking about how personalities are formed or how we think personalities are formed. Like, say, for example, now, like, as we are in today's Nigeria society, like, how we how we've come to develop and act out the way we do. Like, before we, or rather, I would suggest before we move further with this discussion, like, what do you understand by the word personality?
I feel is the totality of our perception, how we think, our character, the way we relate to situations, the entirety of our being. Yeah, that's what I feel personality is.
So, how about you, bro? How do you think, or rather, what do you understand by the concept of personality?
I just feel personalities are characters, things we are known for, how we are perceived. It might be in relation to where we've been, now we've grown up, how we react to things, and like majorly our character. Our personality tells more about our character.
Okay, so I actually feel personality per se as a concept is the combination of all the experiences we've particularly had. Like, you get the fact that you've experienced something or you went through something, it's going to shape you and allow you to behave in a way that actually formulates this
Individual.
stuff we call personality per se. So how would you think in today's Nigeria society per se? Like, I how do you think we've all tend to become the way we are, like, as a society? Like, how do you think the uh, factors that are necessarily surrounding personality development, how do you think these factors, or what do you think these factors per se are in our Nigeria studio society?
Okay, before I dive into that factor, I would like to address or talk about how um, we from birth do not have any form of character,
Identity per se.
identity, nothing. We
Yeah.
were blank slates, you understand? And this is something that a lot of people don't understand because people have this notion of, them having having this personality from birth. A lot of people think they were born with personality,
I
and me,
see.
I beg to differ because I personally, from my own opinion, I don't believe I don't believe in any personality from birth, any form of belief. You understand? It's actually society that
Okay.
indoctrinates everything that we come to believe. And when I mean society, I mean a lot of things because it can entails maybe government,
Institutions.
institutions, families, schools, peer groups, everything within a society that can actually influence an individual, you understand? So I believe those are the things that actually fill us because this is a very serious matter, understand? Because for us to understand who we are, we need to be able to, just be conscious of those things that shapes us because
True.
you understand? We need to be conscious of those things that influence and build us as a person. Yeah, I know as children we have less control of that, especially in our country where there's no organization, there's no structure that there's no formation of, you know what I mean now. Yeah, the country is just
everywhere you just get if you actually
that
like,
kind of thing. You
people are
understand?
not actually aware of the fact that for them to say they have an identity, that there has to be some
Forces
factors,
behind it.
some
Yes,
forces
yes.
behind these experiences that tend to shape you. And if we are to look into these factors per se now, I would actually say I can draft them to be into two
Okay.
per se.
Which
I
are-
would say from nurture and nature. Nurture in the sense that the environment in which you were brought up. You understand?
Human created
your
environment.
your environment will tend to have its own
Play a major
cultural
role.
Yes.
cultural activities and traditions and rules and regulations that
Yes.
will eventually shape you to act in a particular manner. And
Yes.
I would also like to point out the fact that family can also be a factor also. And then
The biggest
your
primary factor.
your ability to socialize.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that. Like you said, an individual, a person, his personality is actually made up by societal. It's actually brought up. You said there were two just now. You mentioned the first
nature
one, that's
and
nature
nurture.
and nurture. So, as a person, nurture plays a very vital role growing up,
Yes.
and that's where the first form of the society plays its role too, which is family.
Yeah.
So it depends on, I think each personality, the first form of personality that is ever formed in any individual is based on your position in the family and the kind of family you come out from, the kind of household you come out from.
Sure.
First plays a major role in the upbringing and forming of
Your
personality
family,
Yeah.
individually. Then probably more at a more exposed age when you now have to meet with friends in school and all of that, then your nature, peer group,
Yes,
others can
yeah.
influence. But primarily, I think family and environment, exactly. Family environment, the first place where a child is born and bred up is actually plays a vital role too.
Okay.
For me, I actually believe family is the most important. In fact, the primary place where children get their formation from.
Yes.
And I don't think we should downplay the importance of family, because I've seen it in our environment. Parents being negligent. Because today, when I was even coming I was in a bus, and a couple of women, they were talking about how maybe I think their neighbor sent his kid to a good school in town, and they were angry because they feel, how can you send a kid that long
From
distance just to school in a better school? They're saying, are there no other schools around their environment? And somebody said, no one no book, no book. You understand? That kind of negligence. Like he said, the driver was saying, me now all those people carry school I go, but me I see intelligence. So,
Like
It's
some
because
people
true,
actually,
the mentality is it's
Yes,
quite
yes.
absurd, because how can you downplay because this is the mentality
Foundation,
a
like-
lot of our parents have. You understand?
Yeah.
And it's quite nonsensical,
Sorry,
if you
but
ask me.
even the Bible says, train up a child in the way you go,
The way you
and
should
when you grow, when the child grows, you will not depart from it.
More
There's
people depart.
There's a thing with upbringing, proper upbringing. That is why I think a whole lot of professions,
Yeah.
from football, sporting professions, Olympics, and all of that, when they want to pick talent, they start from childhood. They make
Yes.
sure
Exactly.
they imbibe this thing in these kids from childhood. If you want to be a footballer, you go through the academy at early stages. If you want to participate in the Olympics, you probably join some dance or whatever crew in high school and all of
Yeah.
that. So that imbibes in it. So I feel like the first set of personality formed is in that early stage of a child, and whatever it is that is put into the person, even if nature or other parts of life tend to bring out another side of the child growing up,
Yeah.
there still will be this connection to the root of where his personality was being formed from, he or she was being formed from, and it'll be quite difficult to lose grip of it.
Okay, that's true. Anyway, I also think in regards to how the family tends to affect how a child per se tends to form his or her identity. Like for example, now while uh, I was growing up, anyways, so I had this neighbor, like they know they actually care whether the mama know they actually care whether the pikin go school or not per se. For this example, now like the educational aspects of the child's development at early age was not necessarily uh, catered for enough. Like they didn't pay enough attention to ensure that the child was actually receiving the right education per se
Education,
now. And they also themselves were not ensuring the child was also learning particular family norms and particular behavioral
Yeah.
parts and stuff like that. So all of this lack and all of this negligence from the parents' side in
Yes.
like it's enabled this child now per se to deviate and like deviate and shaped himself
In a
or
different
herself, rather
lifestyle.
himself in
Yeah.
this particular example now, like instead of the particular idea of a child that the parents might have had for the child, but due to their negligence, the child was able to form up himself in another manner based on the experiences
Yeah.
that he had to face at that time in his life.
So
Yes.
yes, I always see that all of us growing up here, there is an extent to which hard work and grace and all of that can take you. It plays a very major role, hard work and grace and all of that. But your level of hard work and discipline actually comes from your background. Whatever level of hard work or discipline anybody has when he or she is grown, I think it was imbibed, it was given in the early stages of one's life as to how much he or she can take. And anybody that wants to be academically inclined, if you look at their family background, half the time they are coming from families that push them to want to do more education earlier, and you have to bring your results home, and that is why.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Even if the family is nowhere to do, you know the parents are telling them this is our only way out. You need
Yeah.
to bring your result home. So I think it is
You already inculcate the value of education in
from
children.
childhood. So even when the person is growing, even if he or she involves in whatever activities, his or her main goal is to just get this thing set because this is
Yeah.
what is required from
True.
where I'm coming from.
True.
So yes.
But then again, also, I would also like to point out the fact that in all of these factors that one can say has helped shape or helped created the identity that they have, we should not remove the fact that your peer group also have very large influence as to the kind of characters and as to the kind of person you turn out. Like, say, for example, now, like you said, we've talked about some families that probably were able to nurture their kids properly and imbibe the right values and teachings in
Yes.
them. And this child now, like from the experience this child has had from being around the family, that child must have or might have developed his kind of person or his identity as a person, like from observing how things were done in his family per se now. And then this child goes out now, and then this child is in a new crowd,
Exposed.
Yeah.
exposed now.
also.
So this exposure now per se is going to cause him certain experiences that might be new to him or might not be new to him, but these experiences might be good or bad, or these choices that this child now or this person has to make in choices that will pretty much form up a part of him along the way.
Yes.
Like he tends to make these decisions, whether good or bad, from the pressure or from the level of interaction he has with his peer group of friends per se now. And this person also, let us not also forget that we discussed that whatever a child tends to learn from the family, like whatever the family has imbued in this child through teaching and observation of how things are done inside the family, this person now on getting to his current level of life or probably this next stage of learning now, probably through like the peer group association that I'm trying to mention now, then this person now is going to be faced with the decision or the choice of probably ensuring that the discipline that was embedded in him at first is going to be what will direct him
Yes.
So
in making choices. But let us not also forget that the lack of discipline in oneself or the lack of awareness per se in this scenario now is going to cause this person now to make a decision that will cause him or her per se, to experience something different that will probably build him or shape him in another manner. Say, for example, now, like you came out from a family that taught you to trust easily, do you get? And then the association with people that were, or people that are full of negative vibes, per se now, or people that were not brought up in the same manner that you have been brought up. That experience now of betrayal that comes from that association now is going to probably shape this person now
to be a different person.
to be a different, like to have attach a different person, like different traits to the current traits that make up his current personality. Like, you get?
Yeah, I understand you. Yes, I get you. And of course, but another thing you also look at is it doesn't necessarily change you. It's just you're more like a building in progress.
Exactly.
Understand?
Like,
You're not
like
fully
adding
formed
to
yet.
it.
Exactly. So
adding to it.
but another thing, and why I'm saying it is because so that we understand the importance of family, because it is actually a parent that creates
the
the
first
world
stage of norm.
of a child.
Yeah.
You understand? And I'm saying it because we are all young and we're all going to have children. So we should be conscious of the
Things we-
environment we want to
we
put our
expose them
children.
to.
We expose our children
So-
because a lot of things is going to affect the environment that you put your
There are
kids
a
to,
lot
like
of other factors.
maybe economical, and your
Your financial
cognition, your
intelligence.
thinking,
Yes.
that kind of thing. You understand?
Yeah.
The way you think, the way you've already built yourself. Okay, these are the kind of
Decisions
decisions
that are
and
going to
discipline I'm
make-
going to expose my kids to. We need
Yeah.
to start thinking about it
Yeah,
because
so
I'm coming.
Yes,
The quality of children that we bring out from our family is what will determine the quality of country we're going to have
like
in the long
the
run.
society,
The
will
society,
have.
society we
understand.
have at
Give-
large.
Like, in as much as the society.
But let me say, sorry for cutting you short.
Sure, go on.
If a child, and this is just a plain fact, if a child grew up to be a thief, to a very large extent, a child that grew up under a home, you understand, it is the fault of the parents.
No, but
And
we've
that's the
seen
fact.
pastors' children still. Wait, sorry, but I just wanted to add, we've seen pastors' children still. We've seen prominent members of prominent people do things that they are not supposed to do just because.
Probably because of the training within the
I would not entirely blame it on family now. So my reason being this, I would not agree that, like you rightfully said just now, with every stage of life comes different exposure.
Yeah.
And with that different level of exposure comes different character. It builds the character.
Yeah.
It builds that
It
personality.
enables you
With-
to.
Yes, with every different stage, you learn something. So let's say, like you said, you come from a house where you trust people, and then you come out and somebody hurts you. You then know that, okay, I don't have
I
to
have to
treat
be
everybody. I don't have to treat
Yeah,
everybody the way.
now,
You're
I
exposed to a
choose
new
family.
emotion.
yeah, like
understand?
now,
so-
like yes,
So,
that's
so now another level of personality has been built. So moving forward, you know how to treat the next person that does this around
Yeah.
you. So I feel like going forward, our encounters in life actually is what builds characteristics.
it's also a major
Characters
factor.
is also a major factor. Family is just one of them.
Yes, family.
So going forward, you cannot entirely scrape off one thing because you want to learn another thing. You still hold on
You
to.
just built on
So-
it.
just-
builds on it.
I was sorry to add this, but I was in church on Sunday. There's this friend of mine, a family friend, he taught me Boys Brigade way back. So his kids are actually friends of mine too.
Okay.
So the last child came running to meet me on a Sunday and I hugged him and he got my phone. I thought playfully as a child, just give him your phone.
Yeah.
I think he should be like 3 or 4 years old. I gave him my phone. He said he wanted to play games. I don't have games on my phone. So I said, let me put videos for him.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Before I went to YouTube, Baba don't press YouTube by yourself
Like you
on
said,
screen.
don't put down.
What's your favorite cartoon? You say Power Rangers. Before I search Power Rangers, I wanted to search select episode. I don't even know say shuffle did there. He just press the shuffle for by himself, which means he's already used
So that kind of
to
thing.
what he's doing. So he was watching, and the next thing, the dad and the mom, they were sitting in front. If you see the way they scolded him, they called him, they gave him back my phone. They said they are scolding him, they are stopping him from handling phones at this young age because at home he would just carelessly pick somebody's phone and he might go and hide under the chair and be there and stay there. So the parents are like, no, you are this phone now. For now, you are not going to be allowed to hold the cell phone or use it for anything. So I think growing up, that might look strict to him, but growing up, I think he will now have this knowledge of, okay, there's time for everything. There's a time when I need to hold my phone, and there are things I need to use it for. It is not supposed to be my every time thing. Yeah, so I just feel like family gives first stage of character. Then
But
going
you agree that you cannot build a house without the foundation.
no, very
Family
sure.
is the foundation,
The first
and
part
the type of foundation
comes from
matters.
the family. Yeah, true, sure.
The kind of foundation matters because there's no, except maybe there's no family, so other means will come in, but it is a family that can build foundation for a child, and the kind of foundation they build really matters because at the end of the day, even if you build a bad foundation, there is nothing good that they can add on top of it.
No, true.
You understand?
True, yes, true.
So, but also, I think I would also like to point this out. Maybe it's just not really want to observe or say to so to say. I think most of us that are young adults in today's society now, like I think, in considering family as a major factor in how our identities are formed, like most of the families that brought out these young adults, or most of the homes that these young adults are from, I think most of the exposures they had at that very young age of identity formation, like I think their parents or their caregiver at the time were probably not aware of most of the activities and treatments they expose to this child. Because guy, if you ask me, the most people that I meet, like, or rather most people that have an opportunity to meet, it's not like I'm trying to judge or I'm trying to be judgmental, but I think a lot of persons, the early exposure they have, like most of them are not aware that it affected them in a lot of negative ways that they are not ready to admit to, because like I can remember, like you said now, if the family builds like a strong foundation of whichever particular education, because I believe most families will actually want to build up that child to be good human beings in society.
You think so? Most though.
That's why I said
everybody feels they are giving their best, but at the end of the day, you're actually not doing enough.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Even parents that just bathe their children and send them to school in the morning, come back and check their assignments. They will tell you they are trying their best to train them because they pay their school fees. But you're still not doing enough.
Like,
you're not checking the child's work. You're not teaching the child's morals. You're not teaching the child how to say thank you, how to say I'm sorry.
And these things are necessary.
And it's ignorance for when a boy turns to an husband and a father, there's no way you know how to. Take for example, now sometimes you go back for night, where Asha would be. You will see some dumb parents who carry their child with they like 2 years, 3 years, on that kind of environment. Like it does not make any sense.
No, it makes
What kind of go Kada or one nice place in the afternoon?
Okay, true, whichever there are other.
Okay, you think it will not affect the child? Being exposed to that kind of
the child grows up to get wild, to be wild. Like, what is nobody surprise them again? My father carry me go back that time, so why I no go club?
And I think most of these people, they do these things without the awareness that these circumstances are scenarios for children to learn. And I believe whatever they tend to pick up from that environment, like guy, you will see some.
It stays with you forever.
Well, because like you will see some children, like they will spit on you, like. Child, like it's a childlike play, or it might seem like a childlike play. That child probably saw you spit on somebody, or probably that child probably heard you say something foul, and then that child is repeating. Like you should be aware that whatever you do around the child is like an avenue for that child to learn. And I don't think a lot of persons are aware that okay, these things are going to affect the child. They will just take and say, "Na small pikin and normal thing," but then they forget say na so pikin take dey learn. And
Yeah.
if you don't do something one time or probably however times the child might have done, or not just the child, not like an individual, like you don't do something more than once and nobody feel correct you say this thing bad. You get, and even if say they correct you, they not correct you and tell you the appropriate thing to do in that particular thing or scenario.
Yes.
Like it will cause you to maybe you can't get a particular experience again, or your current experience now for this matter now. Whether you like them or not, like the only response you know to this particular experience, which might be foul
Yeah.
or whatever, now you will do. And like it's making society difficult to me anyways, because I meet a lot of persons that like I don't
Every
think they are,
day.
like I don't
Then
think they are aware.
Who trained you? Which house you for come
Guy,
aside?
they-
Where you go
they
match me, you
tire
know, if
me,
you talk so
like,
where you go, they
Those
waka,
kind
you
of
know, if you do
attitudes,
excuse
you know.
me, you go just push person for road. Like, what
Crazy.
homes are you for coming
like
from?
crazy, like normal daily, like the normal courtesy women know, like if I did very courteous, like I did, like I
Give
did,
person
I
money,
did
give you
normal, like
change. Thank
some
you.
people outside they go they feel say you probably they do too much, and these are just little things for you because while you were growing up, your parents ensured that you understood these are just basic
Yeah.
things you should do. But
Yeah.
most of these other
Big
persons
compassion,
still
yeah.
get
Sorry, I wanted to add, you know that some people might get it wrong. You know, most of us now in this our generation, we feel like I don't need to have courtesy. I don't need to tell you thank you. I don't need to greet you if
now
I
you
don't
know
know
it,
you.
you feel
No,
But in truth, that's how the Western world kids are being trained now. Don't say hello to strangers. Don't greet somebody you don't know. Don't say thank you if you don't know the person in public. Don't accept people. Do you understand?
But-
Those are safety measures. We understand, but it has taken a play part. You cannot see a younger person of this generation give you as much regard as you used to give somebody older than
you
you.
don't finish you like.
But that is the truth of our generation now. Children don't even greet again. Just if you walk out, pass you for road, may do it to them, man. You go tell you say no, you don't born and me, you don't talk to them.
like that kind of stuff.
And we forget that, first of all, as Africans, secondly, as Nigerians in general, I don't think there's any culture in Nigeria that allows you to greet without bending.
No, I don't.
Be you a man or a woman. So our culture normally imbibes respect from the grassroots part of
Yeah.
everything now. But these days now, children feel like it is not in our it is not cultural for you to train your child to be much
Like,
respectful.
no,
It's
you're
cool.
right.
It's cool if your child is a bit savage.
Okay.
But now so they will train
Yeah.
children. It's cool if your child is a bit savage. It's cool if your child does not know how to pay attention to people. Come off it. Nobody cares.
Sorry to let me just quickly say this. I think these things, if you actually do a trace back of this whole thing, like generation of person, like the previous generation before our generation, or the generation before the previous generation, they were able to ensure that they made their children to understand
Respect.
the importance of these things.
Yeah.
You get? I feel they had that awareness of why these things were important, and as time went over time, like the previous generation now probably did not do enough to ensure that
Yeah,
this
sure.
generation understood the importance of these things. You get? And I feel that's a problem in our society today, and I feel there has been so much neglect in the cultural sector, or let me say cultural aspect, that is also a factor in identity formation or personality formation persona, like in our society today. Like that has been like it's so
Big flow.
flopped up, like nobody cares. Like,
Nobody. I'm not supposed to greet you. I don't know you. You don't be my papa. You understand?
Nobody
I feel
cares.
like, but really, you're not supposed to chop and move. But
It's
part of our
it's
culture.
normal.
If you don't
But,
have
but,
a problem, you're
but the
supposed to have
the culture has changed, and
courtesy
the,
at least.
the means by which we get this value has changed, because before
Truthfully.
we depend on our parents to teach us value, but now it has changed. The means has changed.
No, even in
Understand? A lot
schools
of
before.
us get, even in schools, then.
But these days, it's
But
not
right
like
now, who
that
cares
again.
about school?
Do you understand?
Everybody
If you
gets
don't
their
even,
value
if
from
you see
social
your
media.
teacher say hi,
Understand?
hello, your
But
auntie will answer you.
If I would actually like to, I know say this thing will sound very weird anyways, but I would like to point this out actually. Like I know they like believe conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Like I think these things are just make believe and they make sense. But if you actually take time to look into some aspects of life or some areas concerning how we relate with each other and with the world, you will come to understand that a lot of persons or most persons are not aware of the fact that most of the things that they do in
Okay.
today's society or in the world now per se are not necessarily the things they want to do. Like there's so much influence, like so many
things happening
influence
around
on
them.
every
True.
corner, so much happening around that they learn from unknowingly
Environment.
and unconsciously they act out on these things, and it's just crazy. Like it's making interrelation difficult. It's making
But
it's making the world difficult. per se,
sorry,
like-
I feel like that's what forms personality now. Because how you react to something is definitely not how I react
Well,
to it.
Yes.
How a society or how any environment affects you is going to be different from how it affects me.
True, very
Which
correct.
which makes my reaction to it different from your reaction to it too.
Okay.
But the thing is just personality has to be formed in a way where your personality doesn't have to affect me. If once your personality starts affecting me, you don't get bad personality with that.
From
I
your
don't know
own
if it makes
perspective.
sense.
That's
Yes,
from your own perspective.
yes, that's from my own perspective. I feel like if your personality is, I mean, rude people are friends with rude people, calm people are friends with calm people. But I think if your personality is rude and you see me as a calm person and there's no space in your personality to understand that this is a calm person, I have to have my limits.
Yeah.
Like boundaries,
My
like you have
boundaries.
respect for
Then
boundaries.
you are being
Gen Z have
yes.
boundaries.
It's too funny enough.
They do.
I think it's something about training. I've seen people of younger like I've seen Gen Zs too that know how to behave
Wow.
themselves in public, that have courtesy. I've seen others that no tell me anything, pa.
Like,
I don't want you.
like
So I
how are
feel
you
like
going to learn
it's just-
if
it still boils
if
down
no
to-
one really tell you anything? What if you see you know?
it's still boils down to
That's the
personality.
problem, because everybody thinks everybody wants to talk. Everybody has something to say. Everybody thinks they already know.
Yes.
Understand? And there's this tendency among young ones to feel that there's nothing else I can learn. I already know everything.
I want to
And
do
they
it my
downplay
way.
the importance of getting more knowledge or getting more educated about a particular thing. Understand? And it's a problem in our society, because you remove the ability for you to learn from the right sources when you already feel you know it all. I believe that's why we're already doing. That's why we're even doing this stuff now, to tell
Yeah.
people that this your personality that you have. It's not because it's the right thing. It's
It's
not even
because-
because that's what you want. Something else is influencing
Facing it,
this,
like something they cause some.
and you don't know, because it's
don't
so
want to act like
You understand?
this, but you
Yes,
just
I
find
was
yourself
looking
doing
I
it.
was looking with you about I was reading something about social media, what's it called? How social media
affects people.
affects people, social media validation and all of
Yes.
that. Do you know that sometimes 80% of what you see on social media might be true, but then 80% of that same time, those things are not as true as you view it, because everybody wants to bring up their best lives to social media. Everybody wants to catch cruise. And these days, I think a lot of young people and a lot of human beings now try to gain their personality from social media.
From copying,
From
like,
copying
Copying other
social
people,
media.
people acting like they are influential.
You're no longer, you don't want to be me again. You want to be, okay, this is
Somebody
what
else.
this guy did and it's trending. I mean, there's nothing bad in wanting to learn new things. So, but you're supposed to be able to own it up if it acts together with your personality. But I think forging personality off of a whole lot of other things, and 80% of the things we see online today are actually from the other way.
so
Very true, because you see a lot of people, they will do anything to get the kind of recognition Davido has, even if it
Understand.
go against their entire being as a
Yeah.
person, everything that they've learned, because they all want to get that recognition online that I want people to respect me the way they respect the celebrities. And in trying to get to that point now, you're doing things.
that
Wrongly.
are not
Like-
fitting into the kind of person
Exactly.
you want to. the kind of person you literally have told yourself that you want to be this kind of person, and then you find yourself, because I actually would say if you are like that, then you are not free from any form of influence. Like you are being influenced, and if you are not if you are not able to learn something or observe something and decide whether this thing is good for you, probably for the long run or probably for a good reason.
Yeah.
A good reason in the sense that it's something that is not going to along the line turn sour for you. You get it then.
Can I ask one question? Let's bring it to Nigeria or Africa in general. What step do you think we can take in order to be developed as a country?
That's a very
Like,
very
like,
serious
like,
question.
what,
Like you mean
what
steps
needs to
to
develop?
develop like personality, so we have a better personality issue in
No,
the country.
let's even
or like
remove the question
the
of personality. At the end of the day, we
country in
come the
general.
development of the country. What do you think are the steps?
So, sorry, I would say first of all,
Yes.
I think we'll get to to societal growth. But I feel like growing each personality first makes up for a better society, and I think that's what we're talking about.
Yes. I know. See, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to deviate the topic. I'm actually trying to expose people to something. That's where I was coming from there.
Okay.
Yes, because if you ask a Nigerian that question, the first thing that they will talk about is government.
No, but exactly what I
But
said.
those politics, if we will check of how, sorry to cut you short, if we will talk of how society started, how people started to come together to form society, is it politics that was the metrics of development or economy?
I think it was my economy.
No, it was actually because, okay, let's go back in time. When people were after the hunting
Before colonialism or
no, not even then. I mean, according to science now, let's go back in time. Yeah.
Okay.
They say before men were hunters and gatherers because maybe they were not enough, they didn't know how to cultivate, you understand? But as society grows, as people get more children and different family combine, it was no longer sustainable to do hunting and gathering now. They have to find a way to cultivate, to be in a particular place because hunting and gathering, they move around, you understand? But this time they have to come together, you understand? And in coming together, there was no politics then. Because the purpose of that was to be able to maybe they
create a
discovered
society.
farming.
I think yes, because you need even animals when they want to give birth, they find a space. Their children have to grow to a certain age of breastfeeding before they can even move around outside that environment. I mean, they can move around, but they are locked in one environment till the kids get a level of exposure. Well, that might actually play as one of the reasons why.
Because you see that humans are social. So it was, let me quickly finish this point. It was when they were in a lot of economic activities that they now say, okay, since we already have enough people to farm, since we already have enough people to rear animals and do a division of labor, we also need a set of people to help us organize. You will remove them from every other activities. Let their main purpose be to organize.
Oh, okay.
You understand? Be to organize all of these activities that is already going on. Okay, but you see, from the beginning, it was economics that was actually.
No,
you understand? So if you ask a lot of people now, and you see why Nigeria is not developed, although it's deliberate, because me personally, my brother said does not believe in conspiracy theory. Me, I believe in it a lot.
My point earlier was that I didn't used to believe in it, but till I became aware to a certain level and I had to observe
then
that
you understand
most of
that
the things that are even happening are not
even our society.
It's because, like, say for example now, a set of people actually want these things to happen, and these persons are aware and they have the resources to ensure that they are able to influence their will in society in general.
My point exactly.
And,
you understand?
Yeah, and they have various means. Like when I mean aware, they know that if they can affect the economic environment of a certain particular people, they will cause these persons to maybe behave in a certain way that will probably fit into their plans.
I hope that one day we'll come to this talk, because we've spoken about this, and this is actually a very big topic of its own because.
But sorry to cut you short, but let me relate it back to this personality that we're talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
You see, even if we get a good government right now, that everybody in power, they are good and not corrupt, Nigeria will still not develop because it takes economic activity, it takes the effort of the people, to actually build a country. Because if you check America now, there are a lot of, or China, what is actually doing China? Is it government? Although they have good government to lay good policy to support the economic activity, but the spread that they are having is actually economical. And if we now, as citizens, as younger ones, as the next generation that is coming, if we are not able to understand these things and try to inculcate
At
or
an early stage,
indoctrinate the right values,
that
you
means we are
understand?
losing the next
Because how can a
generation
full
already.
generation wants to be musician, they want to be dancers, they want to be actors, they want
do you
there's no
understand?
other,
You get like the
nobody's
influence.
exploring
That is why I
This
said
is
anything
social media.
economical.
I said I wanted to say before social media, like personality is now being valued at the rate of social media likes and comments
Exactly.
that you get. If this person has 1,000 likes and 2 million comments, it means what he's saying is right.
But let's-
If she does this,
If he does it,
it
then
means
it's what he's saying is
right.
nobody will want to
So
listen to
nobody
this.
can
When they
now
not
talk
check,
about this is what a good
But
personality
let's
is.
also
Yes.
consider the fact that these personalities now that we are mentioning, for example, now that like social media personalities, big personalities, like it also depends on the kind of influence they are having on these other younger minds. But so like, say I have this or I'm this big personality now, like I have to be able to think, like whether you like it or not, like that power you have or that has been bestowed on you by your virtue of status or whatever you do actually,
Yes.
it's going to allow or it's going to enable you be able to guide people.
Yeah.
Do you get? So the manner and the direction in which you are choosing to guide these persons, I think they should be able to put it upon themselves to see into where it's going to lead people to. Because I think one of the major problems we're having in our space these days is the fact that the influencers or the big personalities per se, they are not insightful as to how what they put out of themselves out there are
Yes.
affecting people.
Yes.
Do you get? And I think most of these things are dealt with anyway. So like,
Yeah, that's
because
why-
I know the I believe
That's
in
why you
conspiracy
mentioned.
theory,
So that's why you mentioned China just now.
Yes.
We all agree that on TikTok, China, they have their own algorithm that lets their kids see what they want educationally. So these people already know that what these kids see online and what they see from their environment actually matters the kind of citizens we are going to grow and the
Yeah,
kind of
definitely.
people that will
Exactly.
impact value in the society.
And they have the
So when you come to a country like Nigeria that does not have any law governing our
It's
social media
intentional
space, it is very
so
intentional.
so I
That's
So
the
that's
same
what-
thing. That's the same thing killing the black
Well,
community.
Okay.
outside the
A
country.
lot of
Do you
people.
understand?
I'm not going to put myself
No,
in the bad
no,
spot
talk
here.
too
You
much,
understand?
you know.
Because I know, but take North Korea for example, that wants to shut their citizens from outside influence, and a lot of people will call.
Japan is a very good example anyways.
You understand?
Like the fact that
Just
they're
at least
able
you
to
cannot see a dirty person.
remove
It's difficult to
themselves
see a dirty
from
person from there.
external influence that allowed them to preserve their cultural values and way of life. Like, guy, if you see the way Japanese people they behave, or like
Sure,
if you've gotten to get insight on how they live their life, like bro, like they've been living their life like the same like since forever. The only thing that has changed anyways like
Infrastructures or no?
economic activities and relationship and however they relate with probably the outside world to a certain extent. That has been the only change, and the fact that they have more advanced technologies, I believe, like those are the only things that have been different from how they've been living life and how that society has ever been. Like, you get?
Because it's intentional. The way their life is now is intentional
Because the government wants to
Yes.
produce
To maintain actually
like
I think to
productive
maintain.
citizens. They want their citizens to be able are capable to run the country in 1,000 generations to come. So they are building
so
for the
they
future.
build. That's why it is
We
important
are
now for us
wasting
because
our
no, see, you cannot blame Nigerians.
no.
You
I
understand? You
won't.
cannot blame because it is like I said, foundation matters. So if somebody has a bad foundation, that is where his thought will come from. He does not know any other way. That's the only. Okay, imagine, let me take for example where I went to serve, where I did my camping was Adamawa. Understand? And I think after our camp, there was one IDP camp of children that Boko Haram killed their parents. You understand? In situations like that, this one it was government that was taking care of them. But imagine those children now were now recruited by Boko Haram, and then they are taught that killing is
Let's
okay.
avoid foul words.
No. Okay, exactly. They are taught that the doctrines of this terrorist group is
Like
the right way of
teaching,
life.
like,
So doing it is not going to. It's not going to like. They will not have any feeling of okay, what I'm doing is wrong.
remorse,
You
like,
understand?
It's the only thing they know.
And that is
actually.
what a lot of us. That is how a lot of us are built. You understand? They feel this is the right way. The only way to success is for me to do what they do. And if you check this Davido now, if you trace where they get these things to do from, you will see that these organizations that are sending a lot of our Nigerian artists dictate what they do, and those organizations are controlled by white men.
Yes.
But anyway,
So it is even them that is
I
controlling.
would actually not like for us to probably deviate more into
No.
personal lives of this.
Yeah, no. I'm
trying
just
to
saying.
talk out.
Yeah, I
trying
wanted
to
to
talk
say.
out personalities.
personalities,
Yeah,
and-
yes.
so, like,
I wanted to say. Well,
Okay.
like, you get,
Okay.
like, you
okay.
get.
Yes,
like,
I know.
so-
I think we are now going to.
I'm not saying
The
those
kind of
people are bad. Though. I'm
personalities-
just saying the influence, and it's not as if it's a bad influence, but
Exactly what I wanted to
Understand.
say. Our people have a way of making the bad team seem good and leaving the main message. So I wanted to say the explanation now, what it entails to have a fulfilled life is different these days
exactly.
because
Sure,
of
that's-
social media updates.
Yeah.
You see a child now, you ask them what it means to be fulfilled. They tell you, I have a car, I have a house, and all of that. To them, that is fulfillment.
That's fulfillment.
I have so amount of money in the bank. That is fulfillment. We forget to look at the life of successful people and what they've built.
Yes.
We no longer give we no longer give applause to successful people. Rather, we give applause to people that do show off, that live flashy lifestyle. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah.
But doing all of this actually imbibes another sort of personality in people to want to do things the wrong way, as far as they get the end result instead of doing it the right way. We forget that most of these celebrities that we look up to, at the end of the day, they are striving for the same thing, having a
Yeah.
family,
Exactly.
making their kids grow up under a corporate and a very nice household.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't look into that. So most times the social media aspect we now gives us you need to have a BMW, you need to have a Mercedes Benz, you need to have 3 girlfriends, you need to do this
Exactly.
for you to be
understand, for
living
you to
life.
be,
You forget that the main essence of even
They
life
have the
is
main essence, but this one
the primary core of life is to have your own, like, before you leave, make sure you put a family down, you nurture something again
Yes.
before you leave. That is, well, I think we don't get it yet because of social media.
It's crazy anyway. So,
True.
so far today, anyways, on today's session, I think we've been able to highlight some important factors that we believe are responsible for how personalities are formed and how people have been able to achieve their identity. So, I think so far we can say we've mentioned family, we've mentioned environment to some extent, and we've mentioned peer group and socialization. So there are also other factors that I would also like for us to mention, but we don't have much time anyway. So we will actually do that some other time.
Next
But
again.
anyways, I've been like this thing quite interesting. Like, I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the fact that I've been able to point out some important factors that I believe will be able to also get to people and cause them to actually do some evaluation on themselves and their environment in general. Like, how this placement like this they make my life be like. I can remember one time my pastor actually said that positioning is actually very important in how you make your life easy for yourself. So if you are not in the right environment, or you don't know how your environment is affecting you, then you have a very long way to go. Like, your work is still long. So anyways, Nusa, it's been very nice having you here, and I hope and I look forward to doing the next episode with you.
Of course.
Ola, Meji, It's been very
Always a
awesome
pleasure.
having you
Always.
here also. So
So
I think we should call it a wrap for today. Ladies and gentlemen, my very lovely audience, I hope I have as much of them as I want to. So this is a wrap for today's episode. Again, we try AWT. Ensure to follow us on our social media platforms. We have Instagram, official NGAWT, and we have our Twitter handle, official AWT, and then our TikTok, official AWT NG also. So see you next time.
peace.
Peace out.